guys, welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. It's been 2 weeks since we were on air because Scott's a teacher and he's got work to do or something like that. And it's really cool to have the band back together. It's just us two tonight. Scotty's still a teacher. He's still grinding them. Friday nights for a teacher has got to be the pinnacle of good times because Sunday nights are out. Like you're getting ready. You're probably going to bed at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon after eating dinner at Denny's. It makes sense to me. Like that's how I picture every teacher's Sunday night is going to Denny's at 4, getting your Grand Slam on for like $5, and then going straight to bed. Like, do you take a stool softener on Sunday nights, like just to feel something?
You forgot about the crying, because there's always that like period of crying that you have to make sure you plan out your crying in relation to when you go to sleep and when you are done losing your DraftKings bets and you pay Bo on PayPal. All those things, they come into account every.
It makes
Sunday.
sense. But tonight, as you can see on screen, you are the jaundice to my sunburn. You look a little yellowy, and I look really beet red for some reason. It's my camera. I could just slide my camera closed and then back open, and I look normal for like a second, and then it goes back to rock lobster.
Yeah, I like it. I'm yellow, you're red. Between us, we're a little orange. No, this is.
I want to get your kidneys checked.
Well, you know what? I haven't been drinking water, and I've been in a room with no windows, so I'm doing really well emotionally and spiritually. So
I ate a big red candle, obviously. I did get a lot of sun today. I'm pretty sure I had the worst heat exhaustion I've had in years. I was getting paid to go into work at 8 a.m. and I'm a hearing aid specialist. So usually I go sit in my 69 degree climate controlled booth. And I get to close the door. It's sound controlled too, so it's peace and quiet. Even inside of a Costco, it's super quiet and air conditioned. And then today, I got in an hour earlier than usual, and I grilled for every employee that was working today. I did burgers, hot dogs. Of course, I did the burgers seasoned with Smoke Shack, barbecue rub, and Amigo seasoning blend from BigTimeFlavor.co. And the hot dogs were good. They were the Kirkland dogs that you get in the food court that everybody loves. Then we had Veggie Burgers, and of course, I was kind of forced to do that. I was kind of forced to cook the Veggie Burgers because I live in California, and I think about 30 to 35% of the employees that I work with are vegetarian or just don't eat meat out of principle. And so I was cooking Impossible burger patties along with everything else. And I was seasoning them with Amigo too, but like everybody's like, "Oh, these are surprisingly good," and I was like, "Okay."
They're vegan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. But I was cooking them on a grill with a bunch of other meat, and I was using the same utensils. Only one person had an issue with that. She was straight up vegetarian.
She died. So
no, it's a religious thing, and I felt bad because there wasn't any way with the amount of volume that I was cooking today that I could separate the two completely. And so she was upset, but it was never going to happen. I cooked for 8 straight hours.
Yeah. How many people are you cooking for? Hundreds, right?
300. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Here's the thing.
And a bunch of them came back for seconds and thirds because you get 2 15-minute breaks and a lunch break. So they might get a hot dog, like a quick bite on their short break. And then on their lunch, they're getting a hot dog, hamburger, 2 hamburgers. And I was wheeling and dealing. I was hot. It was 100 degrees today with smoke in the air because California is on fire again. And 100 degrees, haze. And of course I was sitting next to a grill. And so I was doing too much heat, and I was feeling the effects. I got crampy. I got chills, and when you're really hot and you start getting chills, you're in trouble. Yeah. And I was trying to drink as much water as I could, but it was like I was playing catch up. So
I turned red. So there was that.
I turned really red, and I made sure because I went and I saw myself on the screen here before we went live. And I was like, "Oh my God, look how red I am!" And I looked at my selfie camera, and I looked normal. So It's something to do with my webcam here.
Likely
Rosie's
story.
chewing on something really noisy right now.
Yeah, it's a likely story there,
A
Lobster Bow.
frisbee.
Yeah, insufferable, hashtag insufferable. Get that trending on Twitter. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please smash the like, smash the subscribe button. We love you there on YouTube. I was on YouTube earlier.
Jingle the bell.
Yeah, Jingle That Bell was on earlier today. I was on yesterday over at the Mayo Media Network, MMN. Please do follow them. Follow me as well. Yeah, shout out. And follow me, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. Follow my man Bo_McBigTime. And then Hotbox Batch is at Hotbox Batch. That's for the Big Time Flavor Co. company. Follow them as well. And then of course, get all of your hot box needs. Personally, the hot box batch, small batch gourmet hot sauce is my favorite in the world. BigTimeFlavor.co. Get your shit today. So we're going to do a couple things today. We're going to talk DFS. We're going to be getting ready for the week one, where we cannot look ahead too soon. It is upon us. 2 weeks from tonight is Thursday, the opener.
Yeah.
It's so close. So we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to take a look at two different sections today. We're going to look at the GPP world, which is more about my hat, and then we're going to look at the cash game, which is more about Bo's hat last year, winning like 88% of the time, 100% against me almost. So we're going to take a look at both, and we're going to do a little help with all along the way with all of this stuff with Run the Sims. Justin Freeman, the guys over at runthesims.com are awesome. runthesims.com/nimble. Get in there. It's a free account. Sign up. You got optimizers, best ball, DFS. As a matter of fact, instead of me just yapping, I can actually show you guys
on the screen. God,
I know. You know what? Sometimes just the yapping happens, and then I forget. This is actually the DraftKings I have ready to go, but the optimizer is going to help us. This is one of my favorite tools over there. This is for DFS. This is a way for you to kind of lay out the whole slate. It's in front of you. You have all the games. You have the over-unders. You have the implied totals, or at least who's favored. So you can kind of do a little bit of math in this as well. And so we have the whole slate in front of us. We're going to talk about building a GPP winner. So for me, I have a few criteria. Bo has a few criteria. You ready to rock and roll, brother?
Yup.
Okay. So
let's see if a hat changes my color.
Yeah.
Holy crap! The hat fixes everything.
The hat changes your face back to normal.
Maybe it's my giant forehead.
You have a pink hat on now, and you're still red.
And this is tan. It looks tan like me.
Terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna change the optimizer here on Run the Sims. You have a couple different slates you can choose from. So I went to the main slate, the 13 games. And what you see here is they are optimizing their boom bust rates, kind of giving you their projection floor, their projection ceiling, if they max out where they would be and kind of what those percentages are. I really do love this tool. Well, I'm not sure if you've been able to play around with this at all, but over here, really easy to operate and to put your minimum, maximum percentages in there. Where do you want to start here? I know I'm the guru, but you know what? You're the Sherpa along the way for DFS. Let's be honest. Bo. Nimble W Numbers is powered by Bo McBigTime. So what are you thinking stacks wise? Because we got a really cool stacking tool. If you give me a couple games, we could build some lineups and kind of just run the Sims here and get some stacks.
Oh, run it. That's the name of the show. Run the Sims.
Run the Sims. So
but we're going to block some chalks because some of these stacks are in games that are very high implied totals.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking for the stacks in the ones that are going to be high totals but aren't implied to be that way. That's kind of the way I like to go. I like quarterbacks with 4 point per passing or touchdown, and DraftKings I really like mobile quarterbacks most weeks. I'm actually going to advocate for playing a quarterback naked.
Oh, that is really a very sexy thing here on the DFS, sexy world sexiest DFS show. Who would you advocate for here? We've got the breakdowns of kind of where people are at, their price value, their percentage here. What are you thinking? Who are you going to go with?
I mean, it's hard to put into words how disappointed people are with Jalen Hurts. But I think he's going to spread it around. I think that they're going to be playing from behind because Atlanta is terrible. And this is a high point total game, but it's not one that people are really paying attention to. And I'm actually going to game stack this game with Jalen Hurts instead of Matt Ryan. This is kind of like I want to get all of the up and down, up tempo, terrible defense out of the way, because that's the kind of game you want in a GPP. You want a game where literally no defense is going to be played.
Yeah, no,
and I love the rushing upside of Jalen Hurts.
No, I love that too. And right now, Run the Sims has him projected for about 22.56 points. So if you're looking for tripling up, I mean, boom, you've hit it. You've already hit your triple up. And that's exactly what you want to do with that value. And that's just his base projection is a triple up. So it just, and not that, this is the end all be all, but if you kind of look at where they're looking at his projected ceiling, it's above 30. It's about 31, so 30.8.
I'm really sorry that I'm not letting you use your stacking tool that you're so proud of on there.
I will say this: this one the way that you would do this if you want to do some stacking, because Bo is, we will stack this year. We're going to use Run the Sims all year. We're sponsored by Run the Sims. We love Run the Sims. They are awesome. The way that you would use the stacking tool is you go in here, and this is the little stack here, and you can go to any game you want, and you can pick how many wide receivers you want, how many running backs you want for either side. Stack them up. I really think that's a fun tool. We're not going to build a bunch of lineups right now, though. We're just kind of looking at some of the optimizing tools to help us kind of build, our not build, but kind of look at our main, slate here. So let's go back to our DraftKings build. We've got Jalen Hurts. Where are we thinking for running back upside? We've got a lot of running backs. We've got some juicy matchups. Some are priced up, like Alvin Kamara, 8,600, and then others are priced down. So are we going to go pay up, pay down here, value, or are we just going to go min? We're trying to shoot for the moon, though, so we're not going to go min necessarily unless we got an injury. So what are you thinking here for our build? Rosie's into whatever that is.
She's got this new toy that's like kind of like a puzzle for dogs, and she's tearing it apart. It kind of looks like a Frisbee, but it's not. So I love Jonathan Taylor week 1 because I'm not buying the committee narrative that's been coming out. Marlon Mack is not going to be a factor in week 1. Hines might be, but he's always on the field at the same time as JT. He has his own play packages as a slot receiver. So I think independent of what Nyheim Hines does, Jonathan Taylor is going to get 20 touches. And his price is depressed. His upside is insane. And I'm not sold on Seattle's defense. It's not very good. And I know that JT is going to get some work in the passing game, and in a PPR league, of course, your DraftKings is PPR. So I want his 5 catches for 50, 60 yards. I want his 100 yards rushing that he's going to get, and he's probably going to score at least 1 touchdown. And so I'm going to start with JT because nobody's paying attention to him. Everybody wants to go after more, like there's so many good cash plays this week at running back, but you'd be hard pressed to find value on those same plays in a tournament.
No, I agree. What do you think about James Robinson? Suddenly the bell of the ball
Super value.
400. Let's check out what Run the Sims thinks about him. I'll go back into our optimizer here.
He might be like 80% rostership, but
he might be. I mean, at 6,400, you're talking nice.
That's not overly low. So I mean, maybe optimistically, it's not super high rostership, but I mean, you never know.
You never know. And between him and who'd you rather have, but him or Joe Mixon? Joe Mixon, of course, about $1,000 or $100 cheaper in DraftKings. So he's 6,300. James Robinson 64. Any lean for you if you're in this conundrum? You've got a little bit of extra money to spare. You could go either or. Who are you leaning towards? Or Najee Harris too. They're all in the same range right here.
So I like Najee and Mixon in cash game because they provide a very safe volume floor. But I'd rather have Robinson in a tournament because I mean it's a really good slate for somebody who's kind of like JT, just kind of off the radar. He's not CMC returning. He's not Alvin Kamara getting blessed with a starting quarterback who can push the ball down the field and take guys out of the box for him, because we know that Sean Payton offense relies on Kamara, on the horizontal routes, and then somebody at wide receiver running the inside routes. And they really only target the first read of the quarterback on every play in New Orleans is either to the X receiver or Kamara. That's it.
Yeah.
When they throw it, it's like they got their eyes fixed on one of those guys.
Well, I think that it is very helpful to understand where the ownership is going to be. We don't have all that data yet. And so we'll revisit this. What we're going to do is we're going to set it and forget it. We'll revisit both of these lineups. We're going to do a cash lineup after this too. We'll revisit it the week of when we get in the Saturday night right before. We'll evaluate player injury, things like that. But I really like this. If you don't know, I am targeting, Bo. This is a strategy. It's not something I've written about or talked about. I'm targeting the AFC South for their offensive skill position players.
Yeah.
It is a strategy, my friend. So why not take advantage of it? If you're going to do it in I guess the redraft big picture, why not narrow cast that down to week one, where defenses are still getting set, still learning playbooks,
especially running backs that play against Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee are going to absolutely blow up every week. We have three terrible defenses in that division, and the Colts are a really good defense. But I mean, just looking at the whole schedule breakdown, is we have a lot of stud running backs that are going to be facing the AFC South yet again, just like what JT did last year, just like what who was it that was
Derrick Henry, James Robinson,
Derrick Henry, Monty feasted on that stretch down the end of the year.
Yeah,
and it's not any better. Like none of these three defenses got any better.
No,
none of them. They're like Houston's even worse now.
Yes. Houston's worse. Jacksonville is getting better, but they're still terrible in relative retrospect. And so I love this as a kind of initial in-your-face, have-a-taste millionaire salvo, as we would say. So let's talk about.
Did you want to plug in my game stack right away, or did you want to kind of save that?
No, I did. I wanted to say right away, I'm putting in Calvin Ridley immediately. Immediately. Is that something that you would hesitate to do immediately or just double immediately?
Yeah. Immediately put Ridley and Pitts in there.
I was going to say I didn't. And so we're going to go tight end. I want to, and I think you're going to be with me this. I would like to save a flex for an RB, and we'll talk about who that RB is going to be.
Okay.
Our good guy, Jordan Vanek, over there at 444. He's done a little research, and one of the things that he found was
Awesome.
And over at Nimble W Numbers and at Rum Boys, he's got a bunch of different hats. I don't want to. He's with us as well. His research has shown that in the initial plays last year, what we saw from the data was that running backs played in the flex in the first couple weeks, whereas at the end of the season, wide receivers got a little bit more run. Offenses were a little bit more wide open. So I love the idea of loading up on these high volume, high upside, cheaper. We're not talking 9K, but 8K and under running back. So we'll see if we can get one more in. Receiver wise, where else are we thinking here? We're going to go upside here. We're going to move away from the game stack. We're going to kind of get a little freaky now. Let's go to wide receiver.
I want you to make an executive decision, because I know it's going to put you in a lot of conflict to make the decision between these two guys. But I want to roster either Elijah Moore or Terrace Marshall Jr.
Oh man, I'm going to say Terrace Marshall.
Because they're both at the same price. Yeah. Elijah, it does have the quad strain. We didn't get to see him tonight, but I think he's good to go 100% week one against Carolina's defense, which is a little bit better than the Jets' defense, but we're not like the Jets are terrible on defense. I think the Jets are being really improved on offense because of the new coordinator and the new skill position players that they have. But the defense is still atrocious.
It's terrible. And I saw somebody tweet out, which I thought was pretty cool, and I agreed with them. They just said Terrace Marshall Jr., tight end 1 for the Carolina Panthers.
It's true, though. I saw that same thing, and I agreed with it completely, because Joe Brady does not use a tight end in a traditional way. And so, Dan Arnold's going to be a really tall guy to stand in the end zone, just like he was in Arizona.
Yeah.
But I don't see him getting a lot of volume in between the 20s.
No, I agree with you. We're going to revisit this. This lineup is not locked in stone forever, but let's do this. Let's pivot because I want to have a conundrum with running back and then see where we're at with wide receiver. And I'm here on the slow grind as my mouse is at Bo's house. I left it there, so I'm still,
it's in a very dark place.
Apparently, it has no hope of ever seeing the light of day. Let's pivot to defense real quick. We've got 13-9 left. And so we're gonna have to pay down for defense, which I'm totally okay with. What's the cheapest defense you're willing to take a risk on here?
The cheapest one goes against my game stack, so I don't want to use the Falcons.
Okay, I'm not using
if I'm not stacking with the Falcons, and some Eagles, I'm gonna put the Falcons in there because I do think that they're gonna force some turnovers out of Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be terrible this year. Their defense is horrible. Their offense is out of whack because Sirianni, I don't think he's actually very smart. Like his first press conference, he stuttered his way through saying smart about 80 times. And so far what we've seen is that he's the opposite. They look so bad in their 2 preseason games so far. Like absolutely terrible. They look better tonight with Flacco throwing a bomb to JJ Arcega-Whiteside, but I don't hold much hope for the Eagles this year because I don't think Sirianni is a very good coach. He's not going to have his team ready to go very often, especially against competition where you got to keep up. Like Falcons are going to score points.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about kind of going off the grid, maybe the Saints against Aaron Rodgers? Is that insane? No one will have that. It's 2,200. Is that insane in the membrane in New Orleans, though?
No. But this is the kind of defense that you do want to spend down on because I think in fantasy, Saints are a top 5 defense, right. And they held good offenses in check all last season, even when Drew Brees was down.
I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers throw any passes in live competition that are not to football nets so far. And I'm not saying he's not the greatest. I love Aaron Rodgers more than any other football player. I'm just saying that's the game you catch him on. If you're going to catch Aaron Rodgers on any game this year, it's the first one. First one. You catch him on that one, maybe he only throws 2 touchdowns. Maybe you get a pick 6, though. I don't know. It's in
the dome. It's going to be loud. There's going to be lots of people there. They're going to fill the dome for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be rowdy. And you can look back. Aaron Rodgers is not quite as sharp on artificial surfaces indoors. Like he thrives in that inclement weather. He thrives at home. Like you cannot beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau anymore. Like it just doesn't happen anymore. But if I'm going to be paying down on a defense, I want a good defense. I really do. And last year, I think it was the Rams who got priced down because they had a bad matchup and they scored like 21 points because they're still a great defense. Yeah. And I think they were down like 2,400. And so if I can get the Saints at 22, I'm all for that because I know the Packers are going to score some points, but all we need is a touchdown. All we need is a couple turnovers, some sacks. Aaron Rodgers might not be used to the speed of the game because he spent his whole summer break in Hawaii.
Mahalo, and I'll just say this: I'm not better than anybody else at anything in fantasy. I would just say this: when you see that number 1, though, you oftentimes go, "I'm not going to play that defense or that player because they're against number 1," and that just that's an instant way to gain leverage because what leverage means is that you have something somebody else doesn't have.
When you see that number 1 in week 1, it means it's from last year.
Right.
And as we know, everything can change.
Things change. And speaking of that, let's take a look at the flex right now. And I'm hoping that we can isolate some RBs in the flex because, I'm an RB guy. Not that if you like somebody else, you can go. I'm okay with it. But we've got 11-7 for 2 positions. So we've got enough if we wanted to pay down. If we wanted to do some, 3,500 or we wanted to do, maybe a Gabriel Davis or something against the Pittsburgh secondary.
So how much is Austin Eckler? Because I know you want to kind of go that direction. I want to see what we have left if we go Eckler.
Okay. So if we're going Eckler, okay, I went down here. Let me see.
He's up. Yeah. He's way up.
Oh yeah. He's way up. Okay. Yeah. So I'm
7 something.
I think he's 6'3". To be honest with
Oh,
you
if
here,
that's the case, then
or six. He's six. No, he's 7. You're right. He's 7. Okay,
7 even.
7. So if we put Heckler in, let's go. Oh, we're in RB here. We need to go flex. Sorry, I was isolating, and you can see. Oh, there's our guy Heckler. I'm going to draft the player. Yeah, I'm going to draft him. Hopefully, just throw him on a flex. I want this guy. I do. I love Austin Eckler this year. And okay, we got
And everybody's enamored. Everybody's enamored with the Washington defense. But guess where they were weak? Pass catching running backs.
Pass catching running backs. Yeah, you had me at pass catching running backs. Yeah, no, totally.
And guess who's probably the top 5 pass catching running back? It's Austin Eckler. When he's on the field in a PPR setting like DraftKings, he's a cheat code. He scored 25 points a game after his hamstring injury. He had 16 targets in his first game back from a torn hamstring.
He's cheaper than Alvin Kamara, but he's capable.
Same player.
Yeah.
And Kamara's going to have probably twice the rostership.
Yes. No, I agree. He's going to be highly rostered. And now I'm my computer is not working, Bo. This happened before.
Your lips are moving really fast.
That's what she said. Who is our last wide receiver that we want to put in here?
4,700.
4,700 is my computer.
That's free. A good. I love having Heckler in the flex right now. This is sexy. This is the world's sexiest DFS show for this reason, because we just plugged in all these studs for a tournament against decent to good defenses that we still think are going to blow up. And we got 4,700 to put on any wide receiver we want.
Okay, so here's who we have. We have T. Higgins at 4,700. We've got Devontae Smith if you want to run it back.
There might be that stack.
At 4,500 if you really wanted to get. Yeah.
That's the leader in the clubhouse for me, because if we can find a meaningful stack in a high-scoring game, that would be it. I just didn't know if we could afford him when we started this.
We can afford him, and I'm thinking
What do you think? Because I don't see anything else in this range that really blows my skirt up.
He's 4,500. I think that blows my skirt up. And I'm okay with the stack attack here, and we still have a little bit of money left over as well.
Which is fine. In a tournament, you don't really have to fill your salary gap.
Oh no. We got $200 left. That's fine. I'm gonna enter it. I'm using my $5 here and enter it. So that is secured. Enter that $5 in there. We'll revisit it when we get back before we get into the season.
Millie.
That's in the Millie. Congrats. You are in your $5 millionaire entry. If we win that, Bo, 50-50 split, by the way. That'll
be at least 50. That'll be at least $5,000 after California taxes.
Well, I'm going to cash it here in Maryland, and then I'll smuggle the money to you. So
you're going to ship it to me?
No, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to drive it to you. Okay. The other lineup that we're going to build today is going to be more up your alley. So even though you're helping out a bunch with the GPP, you're also a little bit of a maven when it comes to the cash game. So
this is my wheelhouse, baby.
So when we're talking cash and we're talking stacking that cash, where do you start off with? Where's your build go? Does it go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex?
I fill my 2 running backs with the 2 guys I think are going to get the most opportunities this week.
So who are we starting off with as my computer slowly comes around to working?
I alluded to it earlier. It's Najee Harris and Joe Mixon.
I think they're both great at 6,300 and 6,200. So as I try to figure this out, I'm going to enter them in the lineup. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so it actually makes my computer a little bit more.
Hey,
maybe wants to work. It's just spinning right now, which is great. There we go.
It's like a 90s cutaway scene.
It's Benny Hill, folks. Yeah. Okay, so I'm putting in Najee Harris at 6,300, Joe Mixon 6,200 back to back. We're not looking to necessarily blow anybody out of the water here, but I think both of them have a 20-point kind of not necessarily ceiling, but just kind of floor. I think they're both in that range. I'm going to check out what Run the Sims thinks, and then we'll get a little bit of a confirmation bias here. Joe Mixon's projection is his baseline is 18.4. So right there, he's right at the beginning. Najee Harris 15.7 as his baseline That doesn't even account for if they hit their optimal or if they get above their projected total. So
Which
I think both of those are great.
that's kind of the thing that gives me success in a cash game is a lot of people say, "Oh, cash game you're drafting for floor." It's not necessarily true because a lot of the times you'll see when I do head-to-head lineups, it's kind of a mix where I'm looking for volume where their ceiling can also hit. But I'm also just saying, "Hey, who's going to have the most opportunities this week because they're going to hit their floor at a higher clip and they're also going to have the chance to go higher than that." And so that's kind of what I do at every cash game is it's like I'm looking for who's going to touch the ball the most because they're going to have more opportunities to break big plays. They're going to have more opportunities to score touchdowns. And it's just going to be that way that's my secret. It's not really a secret. My secret to cash games is volume, volume, volume. Get all the guys who are going to throw the ball a ton of times, get all the guys who are going to catch the ball a bunch of times, and then run the ball a bunch of times.
Well, I like it because, Joe Mixon and Najee Harris are in the top 7 or 8 players over at Run the Sims for their baseline projection. So, you're paying down a little bit there. You're not paying up the Christian McCaffrey price.
Yeah.
You're getting
I
a
kind
little
of want
bit
to spend up a wide receiver. It's kind of the reason why I went this way.
No, it's good. Who are you thinking spending up wise? Now, here's a question, too, I wanted to ask you, because cash is king for you and GPP is my thing. But is there ever crossover plays that you think, okay, this player, all formats, this week, I love him, Darren Waller or whatever against the Jets, somebody who you're like, I don't care. Is there anybody that you want to bring from our lineup and kind of like graft them over, or are we going brand new? No one in this lineup is going to be the same as the last lineup.
I'm going to give you the choice here because I love Calvin Ridley in week 1 because I think he's going to get at least 10 targets. Yeah. But I'm also kind of looking at DeAndre Hopkins against a Tennessee team that really doesn't have any good corners. Like there's nobody that's going to be out there lined up against DeAndre Hopkins that's going to even be able to slow him down.
I mean, maybe there's a world where we can put both of them in there. Maybe not.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough. We have to spend down at quarterback, and so we can visit that.
Okay. And I mean, quarterbacks.
The ones I've been building, it's one or the other.
Yeah. So let's stick with Ridley here as our one guy. I do love Ridley across the board in all formats this week and all year. I love Ridley a lot. He's my wide receiver 2, by the way.
Yes.
I really love him. Who else would we want to play that we're just going to look at for volume wise? When you look at this receiver, you go, they're priced down. They're going to get volume. They're just totally worth every cent you're investing in them as their price point.
I'm going to give you another choice between 2 guys you really love. Do you want Terry McLaurin or do you want Deontay Johnson? Because I know you love both those guys.
Oh, man.
I would lean Deontay because the Chargers corners are very good and the Buffalo corners are okay.
I'm going to lean toward Deontay Johnson as well because, and here's why. Terry McLaurin has not been very present in practices and being, in the game. I haven't really seen him at all. We'll see him maybe. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow night at all either. We'll see if he does. Maybe he does.
No, probably not.
Probably not. But I've at least seen Deontay Johnson, and so I know it sounds silly. Good. He's so good. I know it sounds silly when people say stuff like, "Well, it's just preseason. Who cares?" It's just preseason. Who cares until Michael Thomas doesn't play, or someone doesn't play, or someone sits out, we really have to actually examine what's happening. If you're not practicing right now, you might not be playing. So I do like Deontay Johnson. That gives me more like security from a cash game perspective. So I'll go Deontay. Is there a wide receiver you want to pay down for? Because we kind of we're in the mid range for all these guys, which means we're not able to super flex anybody in. We don't have millions of dollars here. What are you thinking for your third wide?
So this one's a tough one because we did spend up a little bit more at wide receiver, but I like Laviska Shenault because think about cash game. Think about what role he carries in that offense and what that offense really is. The Urban Meyer offense, so far it's looked identical to the one he ran at Ohio State. It's not complex. It's based on putting athletes in space, and their outside receivers run a lot of vertical routes and comebacks. Their slot receivers run a lot of digs, slants, and those little angle routes. So you can take advantage of linebackers get sucked in the middle towards the play action. That's their whole offense. Is they line up in a nice power formation with a tight end and an H-back or a slot receiver. They'll run all kinds of end around motion, and they're going to run a lot of zone read plays with their running backs. And Laviska plays the slot, and we saw this in their last preseason game where he's all about the short reception with the yak. And if you get him 7 to 9 targets in that first game against a terrible defense, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I mean, at 5,000, if he quad maxes at 20 for you,
I just want him to score a touchdown. Because I think he's an easy 12 points, and it's kind of on the low side. I wish his price was just a hair lower, but Houston is a dumpster fire, and really Jacksonville is too, because Urban Meyer he's a moron.
He's Urban Meyer, right? He's Urban Meyer.
He's an absolute moron. I hope he someday watches this back and says, you know what, Bo was right, because I don't think Urban Meyer is going to survive into next season as a head coach in the NFL.
Not good. So far, we've got Harris, Joe Mixon, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Laviska Shenault. Strong to quite strong. Tight end, we're going to have to pay down. We're just going to have to. We can't pay up, right? Is there somebody lower than Kyle Pitts who you like at the value? Because for me, 4,400, it's cheap.
Keep going down.
Who do you have? Who's a little bit better value than my guy?
So if you notice, you have so a little bit higher. So I like Jared Cook, and I like Jared Cook against. I mean, we already have. Okay, no, yeah, I was thinking about the other lineup.
No, yeah, we're good.
So I like Jared Cook, but I love Mo Alley Cox, or not Mo Alley Cox. Sorry, Donald Parham.
So do you want to shift to Parham? Impossible.
Yeah, I think he's way down at maybe at 2,500.
Well, then we're gonna have to search my man Parham. We're not gonna scroll. We'll search. When you're that low.
How low can you go?
How low indeed. Well, maybe we're gonna search because my mouse is not working all of a sudden. So yeah. Apparently, my computer was attacked by a virus, Bo. Can you tell? And
a lot of viruses going around these days, man.
There's some bad stuff going on. And then also, besides that, the virus, my internet's being worked on. So it's like a double whammy. And that's not good. That's like a kick in the nuts. It's almost like starting your school year without your Promethean board light bulb working. You know what I mean? Almost. But it's okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm not that important. Okay. So now we're down here in the 2,500 range. Let's see if we can find.
I don't want David Njoku.
No, let's see if we can go up a little bit more. Do we find him yet? Is he there? He is 3,100. Very nice.
I like that.
Delicious. So we've got Donald Parham there. Gives us a little bit of money for our defense. Who are you thinking for defense here?
Yuck. the defensive matchups this week in the week one are really tough. Like it's a tough go, and I'm not against that because it's a crapshoot for everybody. We don't know how good certain defenses are going to carry over from last year or how bad. So being it is the most variable position, that's the hardest to predict. I like the Steelers because I think Josh Allen might have a rough start to the season, having a tough defense with a great pass rush coming after him. I like the Steelers this week. I like
But the Dolphins, against Miami, against New England.
Yeah, I mean it's still going to depend on whether you get Cam Newton or Mac Jones. It'll be a low scoring game. That's going to be a defensive struggle. I don't know how much New England's going to turn the ball over. They're going to run the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be a low scoring game.
I'll let you be the tip of the spear for defenses, but I will throw suggestions out there. the Bills at 2,500. They could turn Ben Roethlisberger over in Buffalo. Rowdy crowd, lots of fireball. That could happen. That could.
I like the Colts a lot because they're going to sack the quarterback. And I mean, it's a new system altogether. Can you get rid of Njoku? He's making me mad.
Yeah, no. That was just a nice joke for you. Yeah, that was just to tease you there.
Now you gotta go find Parham again.
No, he's here. He's in my flex. I just have to get him out of my flex.
Yeah, now you gotta go find him again. He's only 30. He's a 31. That's not that far down.
No, he's right here. So defense, who's our
Give me the Colts or the Steelers. I want defenses that are going to get sacks and hopefully turnovers.
The Colts. I like the Colts. That's a nice little value defense there. Okay, so we got 12-9 left. QB and flex. You want to hit QB up first?
Yes. I'm kind of afraid of this one. So who's going to throw the ball a lot, basically? Who's going to have 50 passes?
40-50 passes, not Deshaun Watson.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Ryan. I'm thinking Burrow.
Yeah,
I think Minnesota's defense is. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Minnesota's defense is better. It's going to be better." I don't see it. I think they're going to be terrible.
Yeah,
and Joe Burrow is coming back, but I mean, it's hard because I don't know how good Burrow is in week 1 coming off of that injury.
Well, let's do this. We could put him in there, and then we can always revisit it and come back to him later. We have Joe Mixon.
72. That's so good.
Yeah, that is very sexual at the flex. Nick Chubb is available. AJ Brown is available as well. Austin Eckler is available. There's many friends. Aaron Jones available.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not against that defense.
No.
And plus, he doesn't get enough volume.
No, he needs more volume for sure.
So I want you to put James Robinson in the flex, and then we can go a little higher on quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, last year, guess who led the NFL in running back usage? It was James Robinson. I think he got 92% of the running back snaps. And with ETN out, that's a great crossover play, just like Ridley.
It does free us up for a little bit more mucho dinero.
Mucho dinero for a guy that isn't coming off of a reconstructive surgery.
I mean, is Hurts okay to put in there too? I mean, we've got 3 holdovers from our lineup. I'm okay with Hurts there. That's a good.
Yeah, especially with the rushing upside.
Yeah, I love this lineup right here. This lineup might even be a 50-50 winner.
Just the volume alone with Ridley and Johnson and Mixon and Harris, and then J-Rob. I mean, people aren't just. I mean, you got to pick on these defenses in the South. I mean, Houston's defense, come on.
Yeah. The only issue I would say, only thing I'm thinking is you got, Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson. If you're a stickler for Buffalo lays an egg or Pittsburgh lays an egg against Buffalo, then maybe those two are not doubling up. But I think it's
I think they're both viable in a cash game because of the pace of the game, and they're when you have. I'm really happy that the Steelers took Najee Harris because it really did reinforce their want, not just the need. Everybody knows they needed to run the ball more than they did last year. But they wanted to reestablish that physical running game that they've had for decades. And that pick tells me they don't just need to run the ball more. They want to, and they're going to be smash mouth. And Matt Canada is a great offensive coordinator for that physical style play. And Deontay is one of the best route runners in the league. So give me that, both of them in the cash lineup, because when it comes down to who's going to have the most opportunities in that game, it's going to be those two.
Yeah. No, I love it. And if my computer would start working again, which it might not, I could secure it for $10. I'm going to enter that. And now I am head to head against nobody right now. Or maybe they're putting me with somebody. Against Get Loose. Hey, Get Loose, you're about to get broke. So
bye-bye.
Sorry, bro. I'm taking your cash. Sorry about the kind of the flubbing on my end. I'm getting frozen over here. Glad the audio is still working out. Hopefully the internet issues are supposed to be fixed the 29th. So that is a Sunday. I'm hoping that gets actually taken care of
before the season starts. That's all that matters.
That's exactly right. Or I'm just buying a booster and whatever. I gotta say, Bowman, big time. Love you, brother. We've not done a show since we were together at your house. Shout out your wife. Shout out your daughter. Shout out your dogs, your cat. Shout out your pool. Shout out
the whole gang.
Your smoker, your snacks cabinet.
Yeah. That is a legendary pantry.
I love the whole thing, man. It was great to be able to hang out with you. And I already loved you from afar, and now I can love you and know who you are. Just as a person, I knew a little bit, but now I know all the way. I'm all in on Bowman big time. Praying for you, praying for your father-in-law, man, or your not father-in-law, your stepfather. Appreciate you and all that you've gone through, and he's going through, and
he's still kicking. He just got back from him, and my mom just got back from Alaska. So not only did he make it up there, he made it back.
I love it, man. That is tremendous. I know that was a special place for him. So, no plugs at the end for us tonight. Shout out people we care about, and I know your stepdad's a big part of who you are. So, let's end it on that. We'll be back next week. Next week we're gonna be on Saturday, or is it 2 weeks? We'll be on Saturday.
First Friday. First Sunday we'll do a full slate walk on the Saturday before. So next week will be Friday again. The last Friday. Last Friday.
I believe we do have Brian Jester coming on for the last Friday. I'm very excited.
Sweet.
About that. Yes. So do check him out.
He's won a milli. He didn't just put his best lineup in a quarter machine.
No. Here's what's crazy. He won the Patriots versus the Rams Super Bowl milli satellite entry, getting him in. So he's got a lot to share. I can't wait to hear. This guy is a proven.
So we gotta save these ones and show them to him, because I think we're both proud of both of these lineups, and for different reasons.
I think he would enjoy both of them. I can't wait for this. Thank you, Mr. Bowman big time. We will see you. Where can people find your wares, by the way, on the way out? Just,
So all my writing, I don't know how, but I fit all of my stuff, all the companies that I write for or contribute to in my bio. There's a lot of them. Go and check me out at Bo_McBigTime. And then, of course, I own my food company, Big Time Flavor Co. And you can find it at bigtimeflavor.co. Go and enter the promo code CHALK21 if you want 10% off. If not, you can pay full price and you'll still love it.
Oh my goodness, you will. And we made some last time I was there. Made some hot box batch, and it was special for the Red Hot Chili Peppers division. And boys, you got some of the best. We made some of the best. So I appreciate you, Bo. Bo is the man. Love him so much. We'll be back next week. And then every Saturday, we're going to be every Saturday once the regular season starts. 10 p.m. is the goal. 10 to about 11:30, 12. We'll see how late we go.
Yep.
But we'll be doing Millie Maker. We'll be doing cash lineups. We'll be doing Run the Sims. We'll be doing Occupy Fantasy Tool from Brian Jester. We're going to do the whole nine. Underdog. By the way, go sign up for Underdog. We're going to be doing weekly contests over there as well. It's going to be a plethora of gambling. We're on
the whole gamut.
We're on Prize Picks. We're going to set that up too. I just signed up for Prize Picks. So, between
a cornucopia of degeneracy.
Right. Run the Sims, Occupy Fantasy, Underdog, and then Prize Picks. All your gambling, all your fantasy needs are covered here over at Nimble W Numbers. So love you all. We'll see you guys next time. If I can get the show to end, we'll end. If not,
so before you end it, I know why you started playing DFS a couple of years ago. It's because you kept getting your ass kicked by your wife at redraft.
You MFer. Don't you dare talk about her acumen and her use of football guys to hurt me. Hurt me bad. Yeah, she wins every year. She gets money and she throws it in my face. And she thinks TJ Hawkins, his name is Hawkenhouse. So how about that?
She can play. My wife rode off in the sunset after winning the title in 2019 over me in the final. And yeah, she still never ever lets me forget it. She probably never will. She's still got the belt strapped over her one shoulder, other middle finger up in the air. She's the champion forever, and she says she's never playing again because she won last time.
My wife will always play because she wants to win money. She's a very
and one last thing.
Yes, sir.
I am excited to announce that my draft rankings and my weekly rankings can be found on Fantasy Pros now.
Oh, I love
that. If you want to see
this,
if you want to see the spicy rankings to go with all the other BS that I spew on Twitter, then it's there. I'm one of the expert rankers at Fantasy Pros.
I'm gonna have to get the skinny on that and figure out how we're gonna do that for me, because I want everyone to be able to see my terrible picks and lose lots of money. I mean, win lots of money.
Just put roses on there.
Honestly, listen, if you're not down with the wide receiver 2 theory yet, I don't know what's going on, but do check out that over at nimblewnumbers.com. It's the lead story right now. If you just go straight to nimblewnumbers.com, and you're gonna learn a little bit about wide receiver 2 theory.
I love the theory. The theory is it works.
It works. And also, if you go to the
Terrace Marshall.
Oh, Terrace Marshall all over that. Oh my God. And if you go to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network right now, you can find my article. It's how to draft with the wide receiver 2 theory. So I put a mock draft together, kind of where you could go 8 wide receivers in this bad boy. That's a fucking shit ton of them. Sorry, we can cuss now because we're live on our own.
Yeah.
So, all right, love you guys. We'll see you next week, and the broadcast is out.